All right, so we're gonna pick up with our Cape Escapers heading back into town after they have thoroughly vanquished Otto's body shop. Now they're heading over to the general store.
Maybe they'll have some Malaise branded potato chips there.
No.
All right,
Truck commercial.
This is a nice down-home country general store, the kind you'd see in every small town in, like, the 50s. It's really weird. You're not sure what exact time period they're going for with the setup of this event, with the in-universe storyline. Some of this stuff is, like, based on the 50s when this place was in its heyday. Some seems like it's the 90s when the town fizzled out and became a ghost town. Some of this just straight up looks like Wild West facades, and it's very incongruous and not well thought out. But as you approach the general store and head inside, you see this is one of the most well-lit buildings in town. It's the least garbage looking, no broken windows, no tumbleweeds packed up on the side of it. And let's take a look inside.
Before we go inside, is anyone else like just standing around outside? Again, Sandals is just checking to see who's around.
You do not see anyone standing around outside except for that one figure that's still in front of the chapel.
Okay. But they're still too obscure to really...
that is. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Heading inside, you see a fully stocked general store. Everything looks like authentic here. You see some dry goods, you see some food, you see some like household cleaning supplies, but everything looks like authentically old-timey, including the shop clerk.
Okay.
And anyone who has pop culture, at least one rank in it, is going to recognize this actor as well. This is actually the real life husband of Margot. This is Martin Martinvale. He's a Martin. Margot didn't take his last name when they married because then she would get confused with Margot Martindale, and that's not good on a call sheet. So they've remained with their separate names for now, but they seem to be a loving couple. You don't think you've ever seen them act in the same film or the same TV show as each other, but he's like a Martin Mull type that often gets cast as like a dorky principal that gets his comeuppance, or a weird stepdad that's like creeping on girls. But here we have him as like a quaint, dapper, old-timey general store owner. And as you open the door, he greets you with a welcome, welcome. What can I get you?
So his name's Martin, and he's a Martin, and he's typecast as Martin.
Yeah, Martin Martinvale.
There's no problem with this.
There's a good 15 seconds of silence of us just standing here, not responding.
Standing there staring as he's like going through the script in his head. Okay, what do I do if they don't say anything? What do I do if they're just creeping?
He's running the Walmart.
We all just completely ignore him and just start rifling through the shelves.
Absolutely. Well, help yourself. If there's anything you see that you want, just let me know and I'll ring it right up for you.
I think Sandals is going to ask, are there any hand warmers?
Hand warmers, we got... no. We don't have anything like that. We got matchsticks. You could light a match and hold it between your paws.
I think he just kind of frowns and is like, that's okay.
Well, all right.
Do you have any malaise?
Oh, you said suffering from malaise? You feeling down, Sonny?
No, not at all. Just, do you have any malaise? Whatever that is.
Mayonnaise? No, we don't have any mayonnaise. We don't have refrigeration here, you see. Haven't gotten the ice shipments from the north in quite some time.
There's a freezer right next.
He seems to be ignoring the cool drink freezer that you're pointing to. That said, if you're feeling down, if the malaise got you, if you need some pep, you need some vigor, you need some moxie, you want some chutzpah, and boy, howdy, you need spunk. And he
Do you
points,
have Moxie? He looks in the soda container for staple Mainer Northeasterner drink Moxie.
And in fact, you see some Moxie in there, and it's like, oh, Moxie, yeah, that'll cure your malaise right away.
Sandals is gonna buy some Moxie immediately and just drink it completely like it's any other drink.
So as you go and reach for the Moxie, your phone goes off, and you get a notification that apparently this Moxie is a key to the city.
I think Sandals is a little bit too busy savoring this very nostalgic drink for him to even really pay attention to the game. And he just chugs the entire, like, I assume it's like a glass bottle. That's what it comes in normally. Yep. He just drinks the entire glass bottle and then puts it on the counter and is like, how much was this?
10 cents.
Immediately can pay for it. That's not an issue at all for Sandals.
He carries dimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course he does.
No, Sandals does carry change. This is something that Ka and I talked about. Yep. He has a coin purse.
So Mr. Martinvale looks absolutely gobsmacked that you come in here and just zero in on the actual key to the city in less than a minute. He's like, well, I guess I'll wait for the next group that comes in.
Manifesto just goes over and gets his little ping from the little glass and is just like, I wonder if we should tell him that we found his wife in a freezer back there.
Oh.
You say that in front of him?
Right in front of him.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what happened? What?
This is like nothing. It's just our Manifesto's already walking outside with whoever's following him.
I think Sandals at this point is very noticeably frustrated and is just fully plopped down on one of the chairs here. Like, you know, the way that like a bored teenager at like a family event sits in the like middle of the room, very obviously reading their phone for attention. I think that's what Sandals is doing, where he's just like, he's kind of frustrated and wants everyone to know it.
Oh, poor boy.
Well, here's a very important question.
Uh-huh.
Did Manifesto get his phone ping off of the glass bottle or Sandals' stomach?
It looks like it had to be from the freezer where the Moxie was stored. Okay. Is where you get the ping from.
I can't believe I solved this puzzle off of my dumb Northeasterner joke.
I was just like, did Sandal just swallow the RFID chip?
Definitely asking the shopkeep, are any of the food props in here actually edible? We're actually really hungry at this point.
And he takes a moment and realizes that you're breaking character here. You're probably part of the staff. He's like, no, I wouldn't eat anything here. I'm not sure the Moxie's even fresh. I think we imported antiques.
Oh no.
I think there's a craft services table though, if you're hungry.
I wouldn't eat that either. Stay away from it if I were you.
Oh dear.
Well, Goggles, you're chock full of lore now.
This is Toaster asking the group. Have any of you ever had Moxie before? I feel like if anyone has, it's illusory, but
I have no idea what you're talking
I've had
about.
Moxie. They sell it at liquor stores.
I don't think I've had it before.
Moxie is a sarsaparilla beer, not beer as in like root beer, not like alcoholic beer. That is, I guess the proper word to say is endemic to the Northeast. It's popular in Maine, really specifically. It is a classic Northeasterner drink. and it is known for tasting extraordinarily medicinal. However, like many things from my home state, people who like it really like it, and it is a very acquired taste. I happen to fucking love it. So,
I can't judge because I grew up drinking Malta Goya and no one else likes that stuff. But
oh yeah, very similar sort of like medicinal herbal kind of taste, like
that's
that
funny.
kind of thing that you have to like tell people like prepare to drink this. So without explaining the joke too hard, the fact that Sandals is able to chug this is something that most people probably would not be able to do.
Moxie is kind of okay. I pick it up
like it
purely when I go to an alcohol establishment just to go to the soda section and pick up like 10 bottles of completely different things and then put them all in my fridge. And then there's just different things in my fridge. That's the entire reason I buy Moxie.
Variety.
Same way I discovered ginger beer.
All right. So as you guys are starting to head out from the general store, he kind of like ducks behind the counter, pulls out his phone, and calls up Margot to check on her.
Honey, still got all your parts?
Yeah. What was this about, a freezer?
That woman is ice cold.
Is Sandals still sitting on the ground?
I mean, if everyone else is gonna leave, I'll probably like shuffle my feet out with you all. He was just like plopped down in one of the chairs, like probably one of the chairs that you're not, you know, like guests aren't really supposed to sit in, but he just did exasperatedly anyway.
Like this might be an antique chair for sale and you're just in it.
Yeah, like there's like a price tag hanging off the handle and he's just fully he's like man spreading in this chair even though no one else is there. He's holding the bottle of Moxie like it's a beer bottle, like in between two of his fingers and taking a sip. Like just very frustrated.
Sandals, you seem pretty well prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any antacids?
Yeah. Do I need to roll for this, Ka?
Yup.
Okay. Let me do that. I mean, I guess I don't really need to roll for it. I just spend the point, but
Either one.
oh, okay. Well, I'll roll for it. It's fine. I got a 3. Does that do it?
I'd say, yeah, that's a pretty common thing to have. So that is a DC of 3. So yeah, that is a success.
Yeah.
You have it.
He absolutely just like belaboredly puts his hand in one of his pockets and then pulls out like a little roll of antacid, like Tums or whatever, and pops the top open like he's offering you like a Pez or something, and he just holds it out to you.
Oh, sorry, not for me, for yourself. I'm not sure that the thing you just drank was anywhere near a usable date.
I think Sandals like rolls his eyes and then looks at the expiration date. What was the expiration date on this car?
It only has 2 digits, so it either expired 23 years ago or is expiring in 77 years.
I think he kind of just shrugs and goes, it's supposed to be good for digestion.
Okay.
Bad for everything else.
Let's get out of
The
here, though.
cinematic irony if he starts just throwing up everywhere.
I appreciate anyone that understood that one.
I think he'll he'll half-heartedly chew some Tums.
All right. And I dragged forward on this adventure by the raw charisma of Manifesto.
This is gonna turn into a Keep Sandals Alive playthrough.
He's taking
This is
damage.
actually just one big escort mission.
He's just taking self-inflicted damage at every stop.
Fuck.
You know, he wasn't the one I was worried about that happening to, but here we are. So where to next?
Is there any sort of common area, any sort of gathering place? People said that they were hungry. Is there like a requisite location, a cafeteria or anything we were instructed to go to?
All you were informed about is that there's food at the craft services table. It seems logical that people might gather around in that southwest area off the corner of the map whenever they're not really pursuing the game, because that's where the medical tent is, it's where food is, that's where the trailers are if you want to sleep through the night.
Gotcha.
Is there a leaderboard?
There's no like visible leaderboard. You can't really track how well the other teams are doing, unfortunately.
This is out of game, but I did want to note, I just Googled, does Moxie expire? And the only search results that seemed to come up were, does hand sanitizer expire? So if that gives you any indication of Moxie's original medicinal usages, I think it's fair to say Moxie, probably like wine, only gets better with age.
It just gets stronger. Only a Moxie veteran like Sandals could have taken that without.
I assume the sugar in it has maybe fermented a little bit, so there is maybe a little bit of a chance that Sandals is a little bit tipsy after a single beer.
Oh,
maybe he needs that right now, you know.
We get inebriated Sandals on our hands.
Imagine him with less of a filter.
Oh.
All right, where do we want to head next?
So I think that this is a sort of general question. How hungry are all of we? Like, yeah, because I don't think that's something we can just like roleplay self-determine. I feel like that's kind of up to you.
Yeah, sure you can. Like, you can determine when's the last time you ate. Other than that cake, because pretty much everyone had some of that cake.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we had about a slice of cake, I'd say, each. But that isn't, I mean, it is calorically a lot, but it's probably not filling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same evening. We're not, I don't think.
Will eating at craft services replenish some of our spent points?
Shall we head over to craft services then?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, would it? I don't think. Do you restore points from craft services?
There was no response. There was just like big.
Does it give you health?
We'll find out.
Someone says in chat, there are no health issues related to drinking soda past its expiration date. So there you go.
Beyond the normal health issues.
Just the regular soda issues, you know.
Keep forgetting there's 20 people watching us right now.
Like 40.
Yeah, there's like 40.
Yeah, it's a good night to escape the Cape. So we head backstage from the assembly hall, where we see a donkey hanging out at the craft service table. Jet, you're not sure if he's moved since you left him here a few hours ago. He's just picking out everything you put on here, like with the idea that this is absolutely disgusting, no one will want to eat it. He seems to be like targeting those first. This man has the worst taste buds of anyone you have ever met.
Not a single cricket was spared.
Yeah, the crickets are fucking gone, man. As he sees this group wander over, he's like, Jet, man, how you doing?
What are you still doing here?
Well, I fixed a couple things I was supposed to fix. But I don't have anything to do right now, so I'm just chillaxing, man.
Does man even know you're here anymore?
I'm kind of trying to stay away from him tonight. He was acting a little weird today, especially when, I asked him about the bonus we were supposed to get, and he got this like distant look in his eyes, and he said he'd make sure Casey gets taken care of. What do you think that's supposed to mean?
Well,
was that a diegetic laugh or was that a you laugh?
Jet's incapable of laughing.
Okay, good to know for future reference.
Yeah. No, when I do the voice, that's Jet talking.
I just didn't know if he was so flabbergasted that he just laughs in this poor donkey's face.
I'm just the worst person to ask to stay in character because I'm also watching a show. What the fuck do I say to that?
Good question. That's a rough one, buddy.
I'm sure when it comes to the bonus, it'll make Casey an offer that they can't refuse.
Of course. Manifesto approaches this little donkey fellow.
Yeah.
It gets about a good 8 to 12 inches away from him, kind of looks down, and he was like, "Have you heard any rumors?"
Rumors about what, man?
Any gameplay hints? Any tips? Any whisperings on the wind?
Oh, no. They don't tell me anything about the script because I can't keep my mouth closed. That's the thing about me.
What about the players who are dipping their fingers into the Cheez-Its? Have they had loose tongues?
Oh, yeah, actually, a whole bunch of them been through here. There's that big polar bear guy. He took one look at the table and said this looked like it was all beneath him, so he left.
Sandals just audibly goes, I hate that guy. He's the worst.
There's a nervous-looking frog kid. He said some stuff I'm not going to repeat. There's a cute rat girl. I don't think she was having a good time, but whatever. Hopefully, the night will cheer people up.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Would Sandals recognize any of these people by that description, knowing that he's connected to the online communities and the influencers that would be here?
Yes, and since you saw everyone gathered at the assembly earlier, you would know these people. So, we will say you know that the cute rat girl is Naomi Nazumi. She's kind of like a Zone Tan-esque, outwardly.
Okay.
How do I explain that for everyone else? She's a very outwardly, overtly sexy, and that's the joke streamer. She has an array of VTuber avatars that she does voice acting practice on stream with while she dubs over hentai. That's her thing, but she never actually shows the hentai, so she hasn't gotten banned yet.
But Sandals would never have actually interacted with her. He just knows who she is from the extended community.
He would know of her. Yeah.
What about
the frog? The frog guy does not sound familiar. You're wondering if that might be like they said there's going to be a golden ticket. So just one of the fans is going to get in. Someone who's not even an influencer at all. So maybe that's him.
Okay. Did any of I think Sandals is going to be like, did any of those people say where they were headed next?
Let's see. Yeah, I think the big bear guy said he got paged for one of the scripted events.
Got it. Now he just immediately Sandals, like without even looking, just puts his paw in, like raw paw, into the bowl of whatever's closest to him, and then just grabs maybe like a fistful of like Cheetos or whatever it is without even looking, and just shoves it into his mouth and starts eating it.
Let's see. Knowing how Jet prepared this table, you go in and there's a bowl of just the pistachio shells. The pistachios have been removed from them.
Yeah, he does not even notice this. He just eats it. Just totally. Shells. Yeah.
Upsetting.
Did Jet just say that? Did he just say upsetting?
No. Just narrating.
You said the rat's
zoom
name.
in with the camera. Upsetting.
It was Naomi Nazumi, and she's fond on stream of saying that Naomi is Imon spelled backwards.
Oh
fuck!
Well,
that was funny enough that it took a second for it to hit for me. Like I heard what you said, and then it took a full 2 seconds for it to register what it meant, and then it hit. How funny it was! All right.
Jet's just gonna reach up the top, grab an entire bowl of orange slices, and just walk off with them.
While I'm here, is there any way I can like appropriate like an empty bag or a or you know, like just like whatever, consolidate things into some Ziplocs to increase my preparedness score again?
Yeah. I'd say restocking at this table will let you get 1 preparedness point back.
Oh, wonderful. That's exactly how much I spent. So I will
can't wait
refresh
for when
my
you take down the
preparedness.
killer with sesame sticks.
You're just going to throw malted milk balls under them to trip them up.
I mean, if there are malted milk balls here, Sandals is going to eat all of them. That's his favorite
Manifesto
candy.
ever clean the key?
Yeah, he wiped it off, he said.
He wiped it off.
A cursory wipe in the kitchen, no water.
Oh no.
It's still got a scent, but you know, it's not as slimy as it used to be.
The outside of it is clean, but then like the gaps in the key where it would like fit on a key ring are still kind of sludgy.
No.
It has a respectable musk.
Oh, no.
Why would your insides be musky?
Why aren't yours, McSkinny? Come on, dude.
This group is so upsetting.
That's what Jet's saying right now.
You're stuck with him, man. This seems like a pretty lively set. Are you filming them all weekend?
Sounds like it.
Wow, I think you got your work cut out for you.
Yep, they're full of Moxie.
Moxie? I don't think they sell that down here.
I have horrible news.
I wanna correct something for the chat really quick. The perp said Sandals contaminating food with his paws is his worst character trait. Gloves or no, he grabbed the Ipecac key. Sandals has never touched the key.
He was preparing for a surgery that did not happen. That's why
yes. I was prepared. Sandals was nowhere near the vomit, so we're good.
Sandals' worst character trait was undoing somebody's pants while holding a bloody hook.
Yes, that's exactly what he did. He threatened someone. He threatened someone with a bloody hook.
Yeah,
and then tried to unzip his pants, thinking he was a corpse.
Yeah, no, he was about to like rip off the rabbit's eggs.
Oh no! Oh, Easter's come early this year.
Yeah, that Easter hunt was getting terrifying.
Hence the apology video.
Sandals at this rate's gonna have an apology video playlist.
Listen, he told me he was dead.
He told me he was dead.
All right. Are we the only people in here? Are there any other players around? Is there anyone Sandals would be interested in speaking to? Or is it really just kind of a gloomy old craft table in a tent in the middle of the desert?
There's just the craft table and the tent here. Next door over at the medical tent, you see some silhouettes in there. You assume it's probably Margot and Goose since they mentioned they were headed that way. You also see 2 smaller looking silhouettes up on the assembly stage nearby.
Sandals, I think while everyone is just like, I guess, chilling out, definitely has enough wanderlust right now where he's like, I really need something good to write about. I need there to be something more interesting here. He is going to wander towards the stage to see what's going on there.
Just imagine it's nighttime in this picture. You can do it. I believe in you.
It's very dark. This is what night looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Average visual novel backgrounds.
I wish.
All right, so up here on the stage, you see 2 smaller individuals hanging out, sitting on the side of the stage. You see a short Batgirl who looks like to be older 20s, maybe young 30s, in like a black hoodie with like a blood smear design on it. Very, very hot topic in her wardrobe. And next to her is an extremely nervous looking red dart frog. And she appears to be like petting him on the back as he's hunched forward. He looks like he's recovering from a panic attack.
Just to be clear, Sandals, obviously, he remembers the frog being mentioned. Does he recognize the Bat Girl? She's not a content creator, is she?
She is a content creator. You recognize her as Maven. She streams old horror movies while giving makeup tutorials in a picture-in-picture at the bottom right corner based on the color palette of the horror movie. She has had to stop doing things before 1950 because there's only so much you can do with monochrome. But she has like a fairly decent following. She used to be much bigger when she did more bombastic, this movie sucks, reviews for a big multi-channel network. But there was a lot of controversy and she ended up getting removed from that. So now she's doing her own thing and she's very happy with it.
More appropriate question. Would she recognize Sandals, and have they met before or spoken before?
You have not met or spoken to her before. You're not sure she recognizes you, though. She doesn't seem to have noticed you yet.
Gotcha. I think, is it because it's dark? Am I just like in the seats? Is that where Sandals is, just kind of chilling?
Well, how do you want to approach the stage now that you're seeing them? You tell me.
I think Sandals noticing the two people here, he's not being sketchy. He's not like being hidden, but I think he also is nosy. So I think he wants to overhear their conversation before he makes himself known. So he's going to do everything he can to nonchalantly like look like he's nondescriptly around, like shuffle some chairs around and like go the long way around to see, you know, just to hear as much as he can before they're like, hello, like, can we help you?
So as you're approaching, you hear the little frog guy taking deep breaths. She looks like she's trying to walk him through breathing exercises to recover. And in between his breaths, you hear just like the loudest cursing. And from the tone of his voice and the fact that bloody keeps coming up, you can tell he's British. You think he might have Tourette's and he's having an attack of that right now. And as she is patiently like sitting with him through this, she notices you getting closer and she leans over to him and says, Bellamy, okay, I have a spare inhaler in the bug out bag in the trunk of my car. Here's my keys. You can go get that. Just bring the whole bag back. You can't miss it. It's probably the only hearse here. Here you go, sweetie.
That's very cool. I think, so Sandals, he clocks that this was like some kind of panic attack. I would like to spend the preparedness point I just prepared to roll and see what I can give him.
Whoa.
That's a crit success, my friends, with a +1.
What are you looking for?
Sandals immediately takes a pepper shaker, like a peppercorn grinder, out of his pocket that he stole from the craft services and says, literally just like offers it to the frog and is like, you can chew on peppercorns to help calm your anxiety. The terpenes in them help bring you back to center. This is like a medical thing. It's not like a weird folk medicine thing. It actually works.
So the sheer audacity of someone coming up to him and handing him a pepper grinder and telling him to go chew on it seems to have snapped him out of a little bit of whatever mode his brain was in, just completely shifting gears now that this new information has been presented to him. And he's like, what? Really? Oh, okay, I can try that.
Yeah, my mom used to have me do it when I would get nervous as a kid. When I was in high school, my friends who used to, you know, like smoke weed and stuff, whenever they had panic attacks, it worked for them. So, I mean, I don't want to presuppose anything, but you seem kind of tense, so maybe it will help.
He looks over to Maven and she kind of just like shrugs. This is not her area of expertise. Oh, all right then. If you say it'll help.
I think Sandals like just plops on, like sits on the stage, like with his legs like kicking off it, like as if he was just part of this group the whole time. And then just exasperatedly just like takes the last drag of the bottle of Moxie he was carrying, like a beer bottle, and just goes like, well, this certainly has been a day, hasn't it?
Go ahead.
I can't believe you just full on Mass Effect 3 Commander shepherded them, just walked up to two NPCs talking to each other, monologuing, and just gave them the quest item they needed. That was just already in your pocket.
I don't got 10 preparedness points for nothing, my friend.
So he takes the pepper, like uncorks it, pours it out in his hand, and starts to like chew on it. It's like, oh, it's quite spicy. Oh.
You are British. Got it. Okay.
And Nathan turns to you and gives a soft smile. And it's just like, that was pretty clever. Do I recognize you from somewhere?
Yeah, I maybe I run a channel about like internet
stories.
Yeah, hey, that's me. I'm Sandy. It's nice to meet you.
It takes a few more seconds of like hearing your voice as you're talking to her for her to realize and put two and together where she's heard you before. And she says, oh my gosh, I love your stuff. I let it autoplay when I sleep sometimes, so I haven't really seen your face a whole lot.
Wow, that means more to me than you realize. A lot of people, there's like an old adage in the community, right, where it's like you produce a podcast and then do video on the side. And I think approaching it from that angle has helped the channel grow a lot.
Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. Wow. I wish I knew you were here. Maybe I could have gotten in your group earlier. Mine's falling apart a little bit.
Oh, hey, I mean, it's a competition, right? And competition really, it can really stress people out.
Yeah, we were teamed up with Mikey Likey and his mom. I don't know if you've run into him, but he just keeps saying like Rick and Morty's already 10 years old to make people feel ancient, and it's been a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Zoomers world, They're gonna be the ones making content after us. We kind of just have to give them the space to do it, but you have to admit, kid's a darn good businessman.
Yeah, absolutely. He can do every Fortnite dance, even the ones that you need a prop for. It's kind of impressive.
I think Sandals is actually considering the like profound meaning of that. Like he's actually shocked for a moment. And he's like, wow. Yeah, man, I wish I was that talented when I was young.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't doing anything nearly that cool back when I was in... Oh, fuck, is he in middle school? Oh my gosh.
I think Sandals really bashfully is like, I mean, he's 11 years old, so that would be like 5th grade. As if that isn't a weird thing to know immediately, but he does know it.
As you say that out loud, you can see Bellamy starting to take deeper breaths again. It's like, okay. Oh.
Is it possible to roll something that I don't have a skill in? Without a bonus?
No, you straight up can't roll it if you have no ranks in it.
Okay, that's fine.
So she like pats him on the shoulder again and says, maybe we should get that inhaler too. And he takes her keys and heads off in the direction she was pointing to go raid the hearse for her bug out bag.
So it's just me and her alone now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 4 other people.
You guys aren't here.
People that are just like heads poking out of the craft services tent watching this scene.
To be clear to everyone watching, I was going to roll flirting, so I wanted to roll flirting. I didn't realize I didn't put any ranks in it. I thought I had 1 in it, so I wanted to roll for it. But I guess I can't. I guess I just have to charm her naturally.
I mean, this is reality TV. This is all on camera.
Is Jet fucking recording this?
Of course, it's my only job.
Great.
Fucking love blooms on the battlefield. That's the exact thing they want in these segments.
That goddamn child would say stuff like, "Oh, Minecraft. Oh yeah, my parents played that."
Yep. I was intending for your encounter with him to be your first stability test of the game. But things didn't go that way.
So I think Sandals is still like projecting a really not like, he's not like emo like sad boy about to cry, but he is projecting like I am the one person on the vacation not having a good time, even though I was really looking forward to it vibes.
You see her pick up on this, and she takes a deep breath and like pats the stage next to her to indicate you can scoot over if you want. She's just gotten done babying another guy. Now there's someone else in line again.
I think he says like, I think he probably looks at her and is like, no, that's okay. I just, you know, I put a lot of work in to getting my way here, and I thought this was going to be my big break, and I thought there was going to be a lot of content to cover, and I don't want to be so clinical about it, but there just isn't a lot going on, and maybe that will change tomorrow, but this feels less like a story and more like a haunted house. And that's great, but I'm not a theme park YouTuber, right? And I've just been working so hard for so long to make something. And I guess, I mean, you've seen my channel. It's kind of hard to write a story about something that doesn't feel like there's really a story going on. We're kind of just aimless right now. And I don't know, maybe this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
She takes a moment to ponder over what you're saying and weighs it, nodding her head back and forth before she decides what she wants to say. But she ends up saying, well, sometimes we aren't handed a story on the platter that we can disseminate and figure out. Sometimes we have to make our own story out of what's around us.
I think probably for like a good minute or two, like a reasonable amount of time, they kind of just awkwardly sit there quietly. You know, in the way that you do when a conversation is like, people are trying to meet in the middle, but it's not quite hitting there. So you just kind of awkwardly sit in the moment. I think that's happening. And Sandals kind of just goes like, yeah, I think you might be right about that. I think I wasn't really prepared for it to be, I don't know. You walk into something like this and you think it's going to be a really big thing in your life, and it probably will be. I'm sure anything I put out about this will be the biggest thing I've ever done. I mean, you've seen my channel. I don't have that many subscribers, but I really thought this was going to be the biggest thing for me, and even if it is, it's just hard to recognize when the biggest thing in your life is something that you don't have a lot of control over.
Yeah, that's rough, buddy.
What about you?
Yeah.
Why are you here? You do like makeup and stuff, right? Were you invited?
Yeah, I was invited. They invited all kinds of weird people. I heard they got the mystery MRE guy, but I haven't seen him here yet.
I'm not familiar, but I don't watch a lot of food stuff, so I guess that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. Really quickly, off the top of his head, is her channel bigger than his?
Yes, she used to be in like the 100 to 200K region, but now that she's moved over to Twitch, she gets like maybe 500 to 1,000 concurrent.
That's still quite a bit. So Sandals is gonna be like, yeah, I mean, you probably earned your way more than I did though, so makes sense for that. But I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes I feel like I have a little bit of imposter syndrome.
Look, I don't feel right like comparing people based on the statistics and numbers and asking people what it is they do for a living as if their job is the main thing that defines them. That just feels kind of weird and wrong, but I feel like there's a lot we can get out of the situations we're put in, no matter what we thought we were getting into.
Yeah, you might be right. Well, I guess I'll be seeing you around. And then Sandals kind of hops off the stage and really politely waves, but also tries to like look really cool and kind of puts his hands in his pockets and kind of walks back to the tent, you know? He does like one kind of cool glance back at her as he walks away. And then, makes his way back to the tent. His last word is just, be seeing ya.
She gives a smirk and rolls her eyes, but you can see she is smiling at this display.
You can just on your return trip, just for an awkwardly long time, you can just still see Jet filming you. And it's just like a thing. It's just a thing you're processing as you walk, as the walk just continues for like 30 more seconds in silence.
All right. So now that we've met a few more of our contestants, we've caught up with some of the staff. Where do we want to head next? I think we've gotten a good amount of food in our bellies. Do we want to keep exploring the town, or you want to head over to the trailer caravan, call it a night, get some Z's?
How late is it at this point?
It's about 8:30 at this point. It's already as dark as it's going to get. This is like the darkest time of year. The cold's starting to set in. Not only is Manifesto wearing almost nothing, but I'm pretty sure he's cold-blooded, so this might be a little rough for him.
Okay, I see how it is singling me out on fucking species. All right, Mr. DM, man, I see how it is.
You just might be getting a little sleepy. Like, have you ever been in a high school or college class where the AC's set really low and they turn the lights out and you just can't stay awake?
You know, whenever Manifesto starts feeling a little sluggish, he just does some suicide squats and push-ups.
Yeah.
He's over there at the craft service table, just absolutely going at it right in front of the donkey guy.
Yeah, you go out on a sunny rock and you do push-ups like any other cold-blooded animal.
Doing crunches right in front of Javier.
Moon is like really impressed. He's like, wow, you want me to stand on your back while you do those?
And Manifesto is just like, I was waiting for you to ask.
All right, he gets up on your back. You have those like real sharp donkey hooves digging into your back a little bit. He's adding about 140 pounds of extra weight. Can you still do them?
They're like, this is awful. I didn't think about this. Get off.
Sorry. All right.
Now, where are we going next? He asks in the direction of remaining party members who have not wandered off.
Well,
now that Sandals has rejoined,
we still haven't figured out if the scripted events all need invitations, or what what's going on with them. So
it seems like the implication, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we should look for something else nearby.
The closest thing on the map is Madame Anne's boudoir.
Or we could head to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I'd be okay with either of those. Close by.
And it specifically references the sheriff. Not even the sheriff would last to the morrow. So maybe he won't be around tomorrow.
Tomorrow, exactly.
Yeah, so we need to go.
We need to go. We need to go right now. Absolutely.
Right now.
Before the clock rolls over.
Sandals hearing Manifesto say that, like his entire, like his face just lights. Like he truly now is the biggest fan of Manifesto. Like having heard him put those two clues together.
All right. So let's see.
So I know we call it here in 18 minutes. Are we good to start a new location, or?
I think we could take a look inside.
I believe in us.
I believe in all y'all.
We just need Sandals to try to swallow the closest object, and then that's the key.
Oh, no.
And then Jet just stands suspiciously close to him.
All right. You arrive at what looks like the sheriff's office. It's got that big star on the front. I don't know. Maybe this is Manifesto's office. It's got the out front. And you see, it looks like the front door is unlocked. You can allow yourselves in.
I think as they walk up, Sandals is like deeply into a diatribe about how like the police are a punitive measure and they aren't actually very good at preventing crime, and like statistically they really are just tools of oppression and they're not actually useful for stopping harm. In fact, all they do is perpetuate harm. It's in the sense that it would be restorative justice, but even then it doesn't really make sense because historically cops have just abused their power.
Manifesto walks inside the office.
With his free hand behind Sandals' head, Jet just makes like a jacking off motion, rolling his eyes.
All right. Heading inside the sheriff's office, it's fairly well lit in here, fairly well kept, if a bit dusty. The floors are definitely old, scratched, a little stained in places, but it's not in absolute ruin like a couple places where, like the body shop or the observatory. Let's see. There's a few desks here. It looks like the largest desk is in the back. That's probably belonged to the sheriff himself. And it looks like it's got some records pulled out and spread across the top of the table.
It looks like these are things we can read.
Yeah, you could go and read them if you want.
Sandals is so excited about this that he starts taking pictures and logging everything.
All right. So looking at the sheriff's desk, you see what looks like fingerprint records that have been pulled out and strewn across. It doesn't look like these are the fingerprints of people that have been interred in jail. It looks like this was a field trip to the sheriff's office where all the kids in town had their fingerprints taken because that's a fun thing to do to get you into the system and can never be used against you in the future.
The fingerprint turkey.
How dystopian.
And it says Pastor Willis, class of 94 on all of them. One of them in particular appears to have been freshly circled with a red marker that's been left behind on top of the document. And the name on that one says Jet Adler. And I think that is where we're going to end for tonight.
Oh, shit.
Your last name is Adler?
Wow.
Well,
I'm flattered.
hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, definitely subscribe, and please consider supporting Gnollplaying games on Patreon. There is a lot of custom art that needs to be paid for to make these shows possible, and as a thank you for your support, over the next few months you'll gain access to short stories that develop the Cape Escape universe, as well as behind-the-scenes peeks at our upcoming series, Dead Laws.